Hey guys and girls and non-binary people, everybody. I'm drawing again in my sketchbook and I'm drawing with a red marker, but it looks very orange and I'm not joking, it's called red, but it apparently the ink in it is very orangey, very orange color. So that's why it's orange, but it is red. But yeah. So before this video really starts, please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, because I really appreciate when you guys do that, and it means the world to me if you would, because I'm getting very close to monetization and stuff like that, and it would be really cool if I could make money on YouTube, so I could spend money on YouTube, but you know. That isn't a must. Still fun just to do for free. So, yeah. I think I promised that the next video would be a painting last video, but I maybe I didn't. I can't remember. But next video is going to be a painting, I promise, because it's definitely going to be done in 2 days, because I have a lot of time on my hands. Since I'm on kind of a holiday, but not really. I'm like a week early because my exam was last Friday, so my holiday kind of started a week early. But I'm still really not on holiday because I have to study for an exam, which I take kind of seriously actually. Who would have guessed? So just read as much as possible, look at old PowerPoints and stuff like that. Just to be as prepared as possible. That's basically it. So, yeah. And that means I have a lot of time to paint and draw and go to the gym and stuff. Because you can't use all of your time just sitting reading a whole day. That becomes very draining. So I sit at a few hours at a time in the morning. And today as the day of recording, of course, today I went to the gym after reading a bit, and then I picked my little brother up from school because he is still in normal school. Because, yeah, he is. But, yeah, tomorrow I don't really have anything to do because a rest day and stuff like that. So yeah, just have to paint and draw. So right now I'm drawing this one, and I think this one actually turned out really good. You probably saw it from the thumbnail, and maybe that's why you clicked. Maybe that isn't. But it's a really, not very realistic, of course. Like, it's my drawing, so it's not going to be very realistic. But I think it's really good still. I think it looks nice. Nice and all that. And I watched a program recently, actually just yesterday, called, can't remember what it's called. I think it's it's called The Artist Colony. And it's where, like, 7 Danish artists go over to a place called Skagen. And Skagen is like a place where a lot of artists had a colony for, like, in the 1800s and early 1900s and stuff like that, which was very cool. And they wanted to see what can these modern artists do with the same inspiration and the same studios and ateliers and stuff like that. And it was a pretty cool program. It's fun to have in the background while doing other stuff, like painting or drawing or just making food and stuff like that. Because I watched it kind of closely, but I still just trying to consume, just have something in the background like music, because it was very fun. And like, they were very different artists, and they did a lot of stuff. Then they have a group exhibition in the last episode, and after the 2 weeks, they're up there creating stuff. And there were really some of the artists I really liked, and some of them I couldn't resonate with at all, because they were just so different from me. Like, this one woman was making, like, hyper-realistic something on cardboard, which is a cool idea in theory. Personally, I don't like it. But there's other stuff where I thought, that's pretty good. I like that a lot. But, we all have our favorite artists, and I think it's hard to exactly pinpoint what makes them cool. Is they just their things has this like this awe factor. And I think it's the same with the artist I like, maybe. But it was a good program. I would recommend if you're Danish and like art and stuff like that. I would recommend it's on DR TV. You know, they're very fun. But I also think like art documentaries in general are really they're interesting because you get kind of a glimpse of a person's life and you see more of this person because when you only see their art or their posts on Instagram or whatever, you don't really see the person. You don't get to know this guy or girl or whatever they are. Like you don't get to know them. But with a documentary where they follow this person for like weeks at a time, maybe months even, to get all the footage, you really get to experience who this guy is. Like, what does he eat? Like, how does he work? Where does he work? Or she or them? Like, all this extra information, which is very monotonous. Like, it's very boring. It's normal life stuff, but it's kind of intriguing because maybe you're inspired by this person, or maybe you just like what this person creates. And I think this is the same way. And I also like that's why people like vlogs, because they're intrigued of what this guy or girl is doing. For many reasons, like personally, I'm a big fan of Casey Neistat. Like he's a really amazing vlogger and storyteller, really. But he does very not boring stuff. Like he does interesting stuff, but still, he does mostly kind of boring stuff, very just day to day. But he makes it interesting, which I think is pretty cool. Like actually, not just pretty cool. Like that's really amazing. And I want to get better at stuff like that, just to make more wild movies and creative films and stuff like that. And I want to do more, like definitely, but it's harder. It's very hard to. It's not hard, but it's not easy either. It's never been easy to make something good because then everybody would be making good stuff. Like, and I think as a content creator, it's hard not to get boring or just get like kind of stuck. I also think that's why many people get burned out because like people like the same things. They like the repetitiveness of it. Like it's still new, but it's still the same. And I think that's why when you're creating stuff that's very closely together on purpose every time, like you have to go out of your way to make stuff the same way every time. When it doesn't just come to you naturally, you definitely have a harder time being genuine, unless just you being genuine or making something from like your mind, stuff like that. That's what I think of art also. Like I can't be a fan artist, you know, like I can't draw fan art. And it's not because I don't like stuff enough to draw fan art of it. I like a lot of cool stuff and a lot of cool comics and manga and anime and like other painters, other artists. Generally, I like a lot of pop culture stuff that would be cool to like paint or draw and stuff like that, but I can't. Because like when I go too much, not out of my comfort zone, I like going out of my comfort zone because that's where kind of the magic of art happens, when you're not sure about what you're doing, but still kind of is. It's like very, kind of have to balance it, like balancing a fork on your finger. You have to find the exact point of balance to make it work. And I think it's the same with that, and with art especially, because personally I can't. Also because I suck at recreating stuff, unless it's my own stuff. Very scribbly, very unprofessional looking. But I could get better at that, and I'm definitely working on it. Or at least I have to say I am. I also, yeah, basically some art stuff. I don't know, we have like 5 minutes left, so I'll go over to a new topic, stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I just sold a jacket which I've had for like, I don't know how long. I got it for free from a friend. He was like, his dad was throwing it out, just throwing out stuff in general. He's like, hey, doesn't this fit Thomas? And he asked me, and I said, yeah, maybe I'll try it on. It looks cool. And he was like, even if it doesn't fit or stuff, like if you just want it, you can sell it or stuff, like whatever you want to do. I was like, yeah. And it did fit me, kind of. Not the greatest fit, but still fit me. But I didn't really end up using it. And it's not because I didn't like it. It was cool enough, but I just had other stuff to wear, I think. Just, sometimes you just don't... Yeah. And then it finally sold, like, I don't know how many months later, for not a lot of money, but something free sells for money. That's profit. That's how it is. And that's very nice when I'm trying to have a side hustle here, beside like art and actual work. I'll also tell you a funniest story which happened like tonight, the night of recording, or like in the, it's the night, early night. So I have made a TikTok where I talk, show some of my drawings I have for sale, which I've framed. And one person had been interested before, but she hadn't wrote back. Then another person writes a private message, says she's interested. And I say, nice, very cool. What pieces or piece are you interested in? And she says number 6 on the slideshow. I was like, okay, this is both good and bad, because this is like one of the expensive ones, which is not great. If she doesn't want to pay that price, because but if she want to pay that price, it's very great. So it's kind of like, I was like, oh, worried. I wasn't expecting anything though. So like I tell her, okay, that's a A3 paper. It's 1 of 1. It's this and that, and it will be free shipping for 1,000 kroner. So basically, that is, I don't know how much 1,000 kroner is, but I'll definitely, I'll probably put a number up on the screen. But yeah, it is a fair bit of money for an unknown artist and an original A3 drawing, but I also think it's not too bad, because like I kind of want to make money here, and I don't want to have too low prices, because when I eventually have to raise the prices because they're too low, people will get mad or something like that. Maybe they won't buy stuff and then. So, yeah. And she was like, oh, that's a little bit too over my budget. And I was like, that's completely fine. I'm just happy that you showed interest in my stuff. And she's like, it's not that she doesn't want to pay that. Like, she just doesn't have the money, really. And she thinks I make really cool stuff. At least she said so. And then I was like, okay, maybe she could be interested in one of the smaller drawings. And then I told her about like slide this and this, and they're only 500 kroner, which is like half of 1,000 kroner, of course. And she was like, yeah, they're pretty cool, but they might be too small for her, like, what's it called, living room, for her living room. And I was like, you know what, that's completely fair. Just have a nice afternoon, night. Just but thank you for showing interest in my stuff. And yeah, it's a bummer not getting a sale. That is really a bummer. But again, just a person like liking my video on TikTok, following me, and then writing to me about being interested in my art really shows how much they care, which is really cool. Like, I think that's awesome that she actually cared enough to do that. Of course, it's not nice that I didn't get a sale, but just the general exposure, of course, like if you get enough followers and stuff, you can just make money from being kind of like, that's like on YouTube here when you like with the monetization and stuff. So you guys don't even need to pay anything. You just need to keep watching the videos, and I'll be happy. And before this video ends, I'll give you a secret word, and it will be glass. GLASS, glass. That will be the secret word for today. So please write that in the comments if you watched this far. And yeah, like if you watch this far in general, please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, because it means a lot to me, and I really appreciate when you guys do it. And I want to say thank you guys for watching. Bye.